welcome to today's part 3 of the Codex Hunters from 4th edition lore. As always, I'll give my thoughts and opinions at the end of what I think of what I just read. And today we're looking at the Inquisition itself, the witch hunters of the Ordo Hereticus. And here we go. Radicals and Puritans. As with all orders of Inquisition, the Ordo Hereticus is riven with different beliefs as to how the will of the Emperor is to be enforced. Some describe these divisions in terms of Puritans and Radicals, though, as with all things, this is an oversimplification. Unlike their brother orders, where the distinction between a Radical and a Puritan is much more clean-cut, the differences that mark a Radical witch hunter from a Puritan witch hunter are much less clearly defined. There are all manner of different philosophies within the Ordo Hereticus, and as is the way of such things, the more extreme in their beliefs one faction becomes, the closer it tends to resemble in its extreme opposing view. To those that are even aware of the work of the Ordo Hereticus, the image of a witch hunter is a harsh guardian of mankind, a stern parent figure who protects those who cannot protect themselves against dark sorceries. Heresy and mutation. A witch hunter castigates those who traffic with witchcraft, blasphemers against the Emperor and the members of the ecclesiarchy, who turn from the service of the Emperor in the pursuit of temporal power. The witch hunters are figures of awe and fear, incorruptible and pure, who punish all forms of wickedness with a harsh but just sentence. They are ruthless in their pursuit of the Emperor's enemies, and though thousands of innocents may be sacrificed to achieve their goals, these are negligible losses when the price of failure is so great. But even as there are many foes to combat, so too are there many ways to fight them, and it is not unknown for some witch hunters to turn to the weapons of the enemy against them. To some these inquisitors are radicals, to others heretics. There are many witch hunters who themselves are psychic or utilize the power of bound witches to further their cause in hunting their prey, and these servants of the Emperor cannot be counted as evil. As the Radical cries that each and every weapon must be used in battle for the Emperor's soul, the Puritan rebukes that even by considering such a course of action will damn himself forever. The Radical may be branded as so, and as much as methods as by his usage of psychic powers, and such individuals are not above using witches to perpetrate evil acts in order to further the greater cause. But such differentiations are merely the most obvious points of conflict between witch hunters. As well as such outward threats as witchcraft and mutation, the Ordo Hereticus must keep a watch on the ecclesiarchy to ensure that another tyrant like the insane Lord Vandir does not arise and lead the Imperium into a second age of apostasy. Maintaining such close contact with the ecclesiarchy can have its pitfalls, however, and it is not unknown for some inquisitors become suddenly seduced by wealth and prestige that such affiliation can bring. Indeed, it has been known for one Ordo Hereticus inquisitor to persecute another who has become lax in his duty, and thus allowed rogue clerics of the ecclesiarchy to exceed their authority in declaring wars of faith for their own ends. Even more contentious are these inquisitors who refuse to bring countenance the inherent hypocrisy of their calling. One of the most important tasks of the Ordo Hereticus performs is the hunting down and extermination of witches and rogue psykers. Though it is a cruel irony that the continued existence of the Imperium depends on beings of similar power. Psykers provide the means for interstellar communication, warp travel, and also sustain the very essence of the Emperor himself with their lives. Without Psykers, the Imperium would collapse into a collection of the isolated realms. Without the Emperor's guidance, would soon fall prey to the foul denizens of the warp. To the ultra-Puritan witch hunters, these psykers, navigators, astropaths, sanctioned psykers, and even space marine librarians are to be equally reviled and persecuted as any other witch. It is here that their beliefs come full circle to become the dark mirror of the ultra-radicals. There's a quote here as well, which I'm going to read. Though mankind is at the brink of this great apotheosis, you must ever be vigilant for the stillborn harbingers of this change. Where you seek the pure and strong, there too will you find the impure and weak. Where you find the one worthy of life, you will also find a million twisted, deformed monstrosities for whom death by your hand is a mercy. Therefore, look first for the mutant, For he may never hide his sin from you, and in his midst there will be revealed to you that which you seek. But be ever vigilant, for even should you find one with a gift, only 1 in 1,000 psychics will be strong enough to resist the perils of the Empyrean and be allowed to live. Admonitions of the duties of the Witchfinder, Inquisitor Malik, suppressed, M38. Okay, and this is one of the reasons I really do like the Inquisition, is because you have this two extreme points. You have, as rare as they are, the exterminators are happy Inquisitors. They've been taken by chaos, exterminators to planet. They've seen chaos, quick, we must sterilize them and put them in labor camps. Stuff like that. You got and then you have the ultra Puritan ones like, yeah, we're not using psychers. Wait, we have to use one for navigator? Yeah, we're watching that one very closely. And also the thing about the Order of Hereticus, which I really like, is even though they work for the ecclesiarchy, they have to make sure the ecclesiarchy works too. They shouldn't let the ecclesiarchy run riot and, become an absolute tyranny within the Imperium, as oxymoronic that is. It's kind of weird that we hear about the ecclesiarchy and the Inquisition, and we know the Inquisition's a branch which pretty much just answers to the High Lords of Terror, if not can even go over them, because they answer solely to the Emperor. It's just this thing that I really like, where you see some Inquisitors who are detectives. They don't go out with a bolt gun and a plasma gun and a power sword. They don't go out all shooty and trigger happy and killing everyone. They actually sit down and they find the best way to beat something like a chaos cult or mutants by finding them and actually bring them to justice as it should be done. Well then, this guy's a heretic, he must die. And there's many examples of this in the lore. We've got Eisenhorn, of course, who's pretty much a radical by the end. And you have people like Greyfax, who are absolutely abhorrent to witches. And it's just this dichotomy of the two separate inquisitorial beliefs. And again, oversimplification of we can use the weapons of chaos to fight chaos, or we shouldn't even touch that at all, and if you do, you're a heretic and you deserve exterminatus, you sort of thing. And it's an interesting point of view. And again, this is something like I've always said, is like when people talk about the law, they usually talk about the extremes, not the middle, where the radical and the Puritan would kind of intersect, where one might say, I'm going to use psychic powers, but they're going to be mine and I'm going to be monitored, where there'll be one like, I'm not going to use psychic powers, I'm against it, but I will use a navigator because I need it. And rather than, like you got the Black Templars, absolutely no witches in our army, and then you have something like the Dark Angels, which are very prominent with their librarians. And there's many other ones as well, I'm just trying to think of. But again, this is just something I really enjoy with the Inquisition, is the absolute division between the beliefs. And it adds, when you're building an army, like especially like what I'm doing within a Crusade force, allowing that dichotomy to be in your army, where you can have an Inquisitor which is a Puritan and you can have one that's a radical, adds so much to your gameplay as well. Anyway, thank you for watching. As always, like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell. And again, link for Element Games is down below. But what do you think of the Inquisitions? Do you think the radicals are more right, or do you think the Puritans are more right? Leave your comments below and I'll speak to you all again tomorrow.